So in last part of the lecture we had seen how to find moment of inertia, and before that we had seen how to find angular momentum of an arbitrary shaped body which is rotating about an axis, and that axis may be moving, it may be fixed. Only assumption we had taken was that that axis direction should be fixed. We had solved this problem using this thing. Then after that we had shown that okay, the velocity will be like this. In this lecture we will consider a general case. Now what is this general case? We have to see that suppose the body is both translating and rotating also. So what I have been given, suppose this is my arbitrary shaped body, the center of mass is here and this is moving with velocity v, and this body is rotating also with omega, and this is your axis, this is your say origin about which I have to find L. So what will be the L of this arbitrary shaped body which is doing all kinds of motion, moving, translating also, rotating also? What will be L about this axis? So let's see. Now what will happen if when I have to find L? L will be r cross v dm. Now I will make use of this center of mass coordinates. For any ith particle, say suppose this is my ith particle, the position vector with respect to this O is given by r. Now suppose the position vector of center of mass is capital R, and the position vector of this ith particle with respect to center of mass is r prime. So what I can write, this r will be r capital plus r prime. This is simple law of vector addition. If I differentiate it, I will get v is equal to v capital V plus v prime. This is a very standard notation. You should always see that whenever this is given, this is with respect to arbitrary origin O, capital R and capital V is that of center of mass, and the primed coordinates whenever it is r prime and v prime, this is with respect to center of mass. So when I find out this r cross v, this r I can write as r plus r prime cross v plus v prime dm. When I do this cross multiplication, what I will get? First term will be r cross v, so that I have written here. Because this is constant, I can take it outside the integral, and this integration dm will give me this capital M. Similarly, this two term r prime cross prime v prime will give me this thing. So I have got two terms, but there have to be two cross terms also. What? First of all, when this r prime is multiplied by this v, there will be one term, this is one term, and when this r is multiplied by this v prime, this is the second term. Both these terms will be 0. Why they will be 0? You see, what is this r prime cross v? This cross v is constant, so I can take it outside, so I can write it as r prime dm cross v. Now what is some integral r prime dm? This is nothing but position of center of mass in its own frame. So this has to be 0. This has to be 0. Why? Because this is r prime dm is position of center of mass in its own frame. Now those of you who are not understanding why it should be 0, I will give you another reason. What is this r prime? This r prime is r minus this capital R, so this will become r minus r dm. When you integrate this thing, it will become r dm minus r, because this r is constant, I can take it outside integral dm. Now this thing, what is this thing? Integral dm I can write as capital M. And what is this thing? Integration r dm, this is the rm, because what is the position formula for position vector of center of mass? It is r dm by capital M. So integral r dm will be rm, so this is rm minus rm, which will be 0. So this is very simple. This r prime dm has to be 0. Similarly, when I concentrate on this v prime, similarly when I find out this r can be taken out, so I will write it as r integral, this will be cross v prime dm. Now what is this v prime dm? This is velocity of center of mass in its own frame, so that has to be 0. If you don't believe me, you can do this way also. V prime I can write as V minus capital V, this is center of mass velocity, dm. When I integrate this, integral V dm minus V cm, I can take it outside. This will be integral dm. So this will become, what is this? This is mass into velocity of center of mass minus velocity of center of mass into mass. So this will also be 0. So what has happened is those two cross terms are 0. So because these two cross terms are 0, I can write my L as L about O, that is this L about O will be, now what is this term? This is L of center of mass about O. Why? Because if you see, what is R? R is, capital R is the position vector of the center of mass in this frame. What is V? V is the velocity of center of mass in this frame. So this term is L of center of mass about O. And what is this term? This is L about center of mass. Why? Because R prime cross V prime, basically what is happening that each particle, I am asking that each particle, what is your velocity with respect to center of mass, that is V prime, and what is your position vector with respect to center of mass, that is R prime. So this is L about center of mass. Now, up till this point, I have not made use of the fact that this is a rigid body. Have I made? No, I have not made. So this formula, that is L is equal to mr cross V plus this thing, it is general formula. This formula can be used for any collection of particles also. It can be used if my particles are moving apart from each other also, they are coming close to each other also. If the body is elastic, then also this formula can be made use of. Why? Because nowhere I have made use of the fact that this is a rigid body. Okay, but when I go to the next step, I will make use of the fact that this is a rigid body. In that case, this will come out to be a very, very nice thing which we have seen earlier. Now what is this thing? When I go next step, you see, when this is rigid body, then this V prime will be omega R prime. Why? Because the moment the body is rigid body, that particular particle, say this I, cannot be moving along this direction. It cannot go further from center of mass. Suppose this particle is at a distance of 10 centimeter from center of mass. It cannot increase it to 11 or 12, neither it can decrease it to 8 or 7. So this V prime has to be in a direction perpendicular to this R prime. Remember the earlier lectures where I had proved that V prime is equal to omega cross R prime, and I had also proved that V prime is equal to, I had proved this thing, V prime is equal to omega cross R prime in my very first lecture. Instead of prime, I was using there P with respect to center of mass. So this thing can be used here also, and whatever I can add V prime as omega R prime. Now this R will become again R. So whatever I was doing with respect to, say, an arbitrary axis in the first part of the lecture, like whatever I was doing here, you see in this part, exactly same method I can utilize here also. Only thing will be that this axis will now be passing through center of mass. So suppose my center of mass is somewhere here, and all this R will become R prime, this will become R prime, this will become R prime, this V will become V prime, V prime. So when you are using all these formulas, so ultimately you will reach this step where this will become Iz through center of mass, and this will also become Ri in a prime coordinate, that is this distance is taken from center of mass. So the whole steps, the sequence of steps which I had used for this derivation, the same thing I can use now also when this body is fixed to be, assumed to be rotating about an axis passing through center of mass. So this Lz, that is the Z component, I can write as mr cross V. I have taken Z component, that's why I have written in bracket Z here, will be R prime omega square omega dm. Now what is this thing? This is moment of inertia about an axis passing through center of mass. So this is Iz center of mass into omega. So what I can write is that if I have to calculate L about any arbitrary point O, this will become L of center of mass about O, that is this, plus L about center of mass. Remember, in the very first part of lecture I had explained something called Chesel's theorem. What did it say? It said that any general motion of a rigid body can be broken into two parts, which is translation of center of mass plus rotation about an axis passing through center of mass. Exactly same thing you see what is happening here. I have to find L of an arbitrary shaped body which is doing arbitrary motion. This L will be because of this translation, so this is the term, plus this rotation, this is the term. So Lz is equal to, I can write it in this step. I can explain it in different way also, that any general motion is equal to this thing. So if I have been given an arbitrary shaped body, that the total angular momentum of the body, that L system, will be L orbital plus L spin. Now you see why I am calling this L orbital or L spin. Suppose this is my sun and say any planet or earth or moon is revolving around this thing. So this will be rotating, revolving with velocity VCM, that velocity of center of mass. So if this is my object, say this is my origin O here, what will be the velocity of the angular momentum because of this center of mass? That will be R center of mass cross M VCM. So this is L orbit. And what will be the spin angular momentum? That spin will be because of this thing. So each body has got two parts of its angular momentum. One part is the L orbital, another part is the L spin. Now both the parts have got different properties. Number one, this L spin does not depend upon your origin. Suppose I give you earth, my earth is rotating. Whether my origin is at earth or it is at sun or it is at Pluto, this component will not change. Why? Because this just depends upon I center of mass into omega. Omega is fixed. Say moment of inertia of earth, say if it is 2 by 5 mr square, suppose it is, I can use this formula, then this I spin portion will be 2 by 5 mr square, irrespective of the fact whether I am observing this thing from sun or I am sitting on Pluto or I am sitting on Mercury. This thing will not change. Why? Because this is the spin, this is an intrinsic portion of the body. So, but the orbital part, the part that is mr cross v, that will change depending upon your RCM and VCM. So if I am observing this motion say from sun, this will be RCM cross VCM. The same thing if suppose I am observing some very far planet, say Pluto, then this RCM will increase, this VCM will also supposedly should increase, then this L orbital will be different. So this is the fact that any system, any body will have L system is equal to L orbital plus L spin, and this L spin is given by Iz center of mass into omega. So suppose I have been given an arbitrary shaped body which is something like say this, whatever is this shape, and suppose this is the center of mass, okay, and this body is moving also say with velocity something in, this body is moving with a velocity in this direction, say let's this be the velocity of so let's this be the velocity of center of mass. This is R center of mass because this is the position of center of mass, and this body is rotating also with omega. Now this arbitrary shaped body, I have to find angular momentum with respect to this origin. So how we should go about this thing? How we should go about this thing? Using this thing, what I can say, I can write that L about O will be L of center of mass plus L about center of mass. Okay, you see this step reminds me of say logarithmic formula. Suppose I have to find say ln of a number, say x, with respect to base A, then what I can base A, suppose it is I have to find out, and I have been given that okay, there is ln x with respect to say base 10 or base B is given. Then what I can do, I can write ln of x with respect to base B into ln of B with respect to base A. Same thing you can see. How I can do this? Suppose I have to find, that is I have been given this question to find ln, that is the logarithm of x with respect to A. Now suppose this base A is very difficult to find out. Then what I do, I take an intermediate step. First of all, I find out ln x with respect to base B. Then I find the ln of this new base B with respect to A. The exactly same thing I am doing here also. You see what I am doing? I have to find L about O. Now suppose this O is a very peculiar kind of origin and I don't know how to go about this sum. Then I can take an intermediate step, and that intermediate step is center of mass. First I will find out the L of this center of mass. That I can find out. How? I can write it as M R cross V, whatever be this RCM and cross VCM. I am not writing CM. This is M R cross V, plus having found out this L of this center of mass, now I can forget about this O, because I have taken into consideration the orbital velocity, the translational velocity. Now I have to concentrate only upon the shape and size of this body. So that I have to find L about center of mass. So what will be that? That will be I about center of mass into omega. So you see, about any arbitrary L, about any arbitrary origin O, if I have to find L, let's go in two steps. First step, reach the center of mass, so find R cross V, this is here. Second step, now that I have taken into consideration this R and V, so I can forget about this portion R and V. I just concentrate on my body, that body which is having say moment of inertia ICM about center of mass and angular velocity omega. So L about this center of mass will be ICM into omega. So this is the two-step process which we had written here also, which is written here also, and which is based upon this very basic theorem of Chesel's. What is that? That any general motion I can break it into translation and rotation. For translation, this is the angular momentum. For rotation about an axis passing through CM, this is the angular momentum. So L naught is equal to M R cross V plus I center of mass dot omega. So this general motion I have discussed. Now what will be the kinetic energy for general motion? The formula is very simple. Suppose the center of mass is moving with velocity v and omega, the total kinetic energy will be half v square dm. I have used the integration. So this will be half modulus v plus v prime whole square. Okay, this dm. When I find the modulus of this thing, what is the method of finding modulus of any vector? Suppose I have to find v plus v prime modulus. This square will be v plus v prime dot product with v plus v prime. So when you take dot product, you will get terms like these. This v dot v prime. Now this will be 0. I had explained in last portion. Why? Because this v prime dm integration is velocity of center of mass in its own frame. So the two cross product will be 0. So I will get this half mv square plus half v prime square dm. Now this is the formula. Total energy. This is the kinetic energy of center of mass, and this is the kinetic energy about center of mass. Why? Because this v prime is velocity of each particle about center of mass. So the total kinetic energy will be kinetic energy of center of mass, that this term, plus kinetic energy about center of mass, that is this term. Why? Because v prime is the velocity of each particle with respect to center of mass. Now you see, in deriving this formula, till now I have not used rigid body assumption. So this formula for total energy is valid for any kind of body. It is valid even if the body is not rigid body. So you should know which formula is valid till what stage. So this is a very I think some of you would have read the formula in the chapter on center of mass also. Now, if the assumption is that this body is a rigid body, then we can move from this step to this step. How? Because this V prime will become R prime omega. So this will become half R prime omega square dm. Now this half will come out, and this R prime square dm, that is the formula for moment of inertia. So this will be Iz center of mass. So I can write Ke total will be this thing, that is translational kinetic energy, plus K rotational, that is half Iz center of mass omega square. So this is the formula for total kinetic energy of body which is doing general kind of motion. So this Ke total is Kt plus Kr. And this also reminds again of that very beautiful theorem that any general motion is translation of center of mass plus rotation about an axis passing through center of mass. So all the formulae which you will be using in this general motion, that is motion, the translation combined with rotation, will be this formula for angular momentum, that is Lz is equal to this L of center of mass plus L about center of mass. Torque about center of mass is equal to I center of mass into alpha. Remember why we are paying so much attention that it should be about center of mass, because torque is equal to dl by dt holds true only if your axis or the origin is not accelerating, okay, or even if the axis is accelerating, then this, if you are calculating torque and L about center of mass, then this thing holds true. You might be thinking why I am giving so much attention on this aspect, because see, most of the rotational problems, what you are dealing with a rolling of say a sphere down an incline, or rolling, or say a car which is accelerating and rotating. In those cases, your axis of rotation, that axis is accelerating, so you should make use of this formula. And total energy is K total is half mv square plus half Iz center of mass omega square.